Okay, so today is the first year in Machasis Shekalim, Daf Beis, number 2. It says on Beis and Beis, the Gemara says that the top line, "Lama amru b'shlosha prakim k'dei lasas pum biladavar." Um, Even though the truma for the Mishkan, the Shekalim that were supposed to be collected for the Mishkan, were really only taken out to be used for the Karbanos on Nisan, the first of Nisan, they were still collected on Shavuos and Sukkot also, when the because those were public times when they used to come to the base of Mikdash, and even though technically only the money was only taken out for the Karbanos on Nisan, but since these were public times, and the halacha is that money that's collected in Nisan is uh, it counts what's going to be contributed later on during Shavuos and Sukkos, halachically. So therefore, they made these 3 times that to bring money for the truma for the shkalim, even though it was only collected in Nisan. Then the Gemara continues. The Gemara says, "Rabbi Yehuda bar Pazi b'shem Rebbe hey nikra v'lo nivai." Um, Basically, the Gemara is saying that if we read these things, how could you not uh, be startled? How could you not be terrified? It says "Latova kol div leiv the Rav Parko kol ha'am." When Klal Yisrael was doing good, it says they brought carbon, they brought the truma to the base of Mikdash through the Mishkan, and when they're doing bad, they brought all their jewelry to make the Egel Azav. Latova vayitze Moshe esa'am. He took them out to Matan Torah. L'Rav v'yitekron alai kulchem, but bad also. All the people came out to be the part of them in the Meraglim. Tova az Yashir Moshe b'nei Yisrael. They sang to Hashem after the miracle of Yam Suf. L'Rav atisa kol ha'ida, but after the Meraglim came back, they complained against what they saw in Eretz Yisrael. Amar Abchia Baraba Achen Heshkimu Heshchisu V'chol Heshchas Asher Yosem Hashkama Yosen Oza. He says every bad thing they did right away in the morning. Amar Rabbi Abba Baracha Inat Yachal Amar Lufya Shalom Hazu. Nidbain Le'egel V'Nost and Nidbain Le'Mishka V'Nost. And you can't. Klal Yisrael is very fickle. They're sometimes their money is demanded for them for the egel, so they give, and it's demanding them for the Mishkan, and for the mitzvah they also give. And then it's where it says Tani Rishu ben Chananya Hada Masnisa Nidbain the Mishkan Hada Masnisa Vasisa Kavar Zav Tor Yavo Zav Shakapor Yichaper Al Zav Shal Egel. That the zav, that the gold they gave for the aron, the covering of the aron, will be a kapara for the zav they gave for the gold they gave for the egel zav. So a couple of different questions over here. First of all, what's the connection between the halach we said before? They used to bring the shkalim on Sukkot and Shavuos in addition to Nisan, and we said those things, even though halachically you're only supposed to take it in Nisan. What's the connection between this and this Haggadah the Gemara seems to bring that we should be scared about the fickle nature of Klal Yisrael? And the second question is basically the Taklin Chatin and the Korban Eda, the main Mefarshim over here, explain when the Gemara says, Hey Nikra V'Lenivais, we should be afraid that they do good and bad, is that the good was less than the bad. Latova Kol Nidivle, only people who were generous gave. L'Rava Isparku Kol Ha'am, but when it came to the Egel Azav, everyone gave. And he explained in all 3 of these things that it was worse. The good was less than the bad. The bad was on a much higher level than the good. But then the Gemara says that you can't understand this nation. They're demanded money for the Egel they give, demanded money for the Mishkan they give. It seems like the good and the bad are equal. And then the last line of the Gemara says that the gold for the aron for the kaporis is going to be mechaper on the gold for the egel. It seems that the good outweighs the bad. So what's going on over here? It seems to be there's 3 different levels over here. First, the bad is worse than the good, then they're equal, then the good is better than the bad. I want to say that when the Gemara says "Hey Nikra V'Loni Voice," it's not a statement of astonishment like the Mefarshim learn that you see how bad the Yetzer Hara is. It's exactly the opposite. Hey Nikra, you read these psukim, you read what we're going to see, the the direction of these midrashim in the Gemara, Veloniva, it's a statement, and you shouldn't be scared, because what we're going to see in the Gemara is a reason not to be scared. Why not? Because originally, you're right. At the beginning of a person's life, the Yetzer Hara is very strong, and there's more of a chance of a person doing bad than good. And that's why the first Gemara, as the Mefarshim explained, that they did more when they did bad, they did it in a worse fashion than the good, the way they did the good actions. That's in the first part of a person's life. Second part of a person's life, he gets a little stronger, so sometimes he'll do bad, sometimes he'll do good. And finally, at the end of a person's life, hopefully he'll reach the Madrega, where even if he does bad, he'll atone for it immediately by doing good. And those are the three levels in the Gemara. And that's connected to what we said before, the halach we said before, that even though halachically the truma for the Mishkan is only collected in Nisan, but also Shavuos and Sukkot, it's allowed to be given for people that were far away from the Beis HaMikdash. Because if you're very far away, like Sukkot from the Beis HaMikdash, and you're only coming on Sukkot, you're not going to be able to come during Nisan. So that's like it's a mashal for someone who's young, and his chovos outweigh his zechuyos, and his Yetzer Hara is very strong, and he's doing bad much more than he's doing good. So you can even give in Sukkot, even though really it's only luckily collected in Nisan, but you can even give in Sukkot because it'll be accepted in Sukkot, because that's the halacha. Even if it's accepted in Sukkot, it's like it was collected in Nisan already. And Shavuos is collected even though you're not so far away from Nisan. That's like the middle of a person's life, where basically a person can go either way, bad or good. Even though really the truma is not collected for that money, but it's collected on what's going to be in Shavuos. Because Hashem understands that eventually you'll come around. And the last Madrega is Keneged Nisan, that when the last part of a person's life, when he's able to atone immediately for the things he does wrong, that's Nisan, where he's paying up his chovos right away. He's paying them up on time. And that's why the connection between this medrash about the different levels of Yetzer Hara connected to different times you can bring the truma for the Mishkan.